Most sellers only care about contracts at one critical moment, and that's typically 36 hours left in the quarter. Your CRO's calling you every 10 minutes asking you if the contract's signed.
We have a new customer who told us that they have over 50 different CLMs in the organization today. And ask, is it configurable? Can you do integrations? And if it cannot, that's not your solution. Your pre-sales start the day after you sign that first contract.
Guys, you heard that here first. So most sales teams think about contracting only in the heat of the moment, typically at the end of the quarter when they're trying to get a deal over the line. Today, we're going to talk about what best-in-class sell-side contracting looks like. Hi, my name is Gordon Thompson. I run the pre-sales team here at Sirion, and I'm joined today by Mike Carter, who has spent years working with customers on how to modernize their sell-side contracting process. Mike, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is going to be a great conversation. I know you bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to this topic, so let's get started.
I've spent years helping companies look at how they can increase the sales side velocity of their deals, how to leave customers in or salespeople in the application where they want to start and create contracts and not leave that system. So I've been doing this for years. I'm now 11 years contract lifecycle management. I spent over 15 years doing CRM at Salesforce and at Siebel. And many customers are attempting to solve the problem of let's let the actions or the work that I need to be done from the system that I do day in and day out.
So Mike, when organizations start looking for a CLM solution to solve their sell side contracts, what are the business problems they're looking to solve for?
Well, typically there are two issues. The first one is speed. As a seller, I want to be able to get that contract created immediately. I want to get it out to my counterparties. I want to negotiate it. I want to get approvals, and I want to get it signed. Because, well, as a seller, I get paid on signed contracts. But the reality is all of that, and many times, is disconnected. Because if it's in an approval process, I may be sending emails to legal asking them for updates all the time. And you want that visibility. So in a cohesive system where your CLM is integrated with your CRM, sellers always have visibility to where that contract is throughout the process.
Follow-on question to that. I mean, obviously a CRM solution owns the relationship and visibility of your customers through the life cycle. How do contracts fit in with the CRM solution?
Well, in your CRM, you have accounts, opportunities, contacts, those standard types of things, and how my relationship is with that organization. Oftentimes, pricing is done there also. But as contracts are created, now you're starting with your legal terms and what you're going to have to monitor and manage throughout this process. What does it cost? What's the limitation of liability? What's my dispute resolution? Those types of legal terms are in the CLM. And between the two, you have a complete holistic view of your relationship with your customers.
So we're obviously talking about sell-side contracts, and the CRM solution is your system of engagement for sellers. CLM solution is your system of record for contracts. As organizations are looking at creating sell-side contracts in the flow of work, what does good look like?
Well, what's important is speed. Whenever a salesperson's asked for a contract, he or she wants to know that's going to get done as quick as possible because, well, I need it done by the end of the month, the end of the quarter, or the end of the year. Now, in that process, you also want visibility. Salesperson wants to know, am I getting approvals? Does legal have this? And does legal have the appropriate playbooks to be able to negotiate the terms that are there that are available for us? So those are the important things, A to Z. Now, lastly, I need visibility as a seller. I need to know before I do an MSA or whatever that might be, do I have an NDA already done? And we give that visibility to you so you're not reproducing the efforts of doing another NDA. It's already in the system.
Mike, obviously getting that initial contract signed with a customer is really important, but it really is just the beginning of your overall journey with that customer. How can contract lifecycle management help in that renewal process?
Well, the reality is, as a seller, I have two places where I'm touching a contract. On the first contract that goes to the system, initiate that, negotiate it, and sign it. And then, right after I sign that, I begin to initiate the renewal, the upsell, or the cross-sell. That's when pre-sale starts again. I need to know what has happened in that contract, what's associated with that contract, and more importantly, when that contract ends. So your pre-sales start the day after you sign that first contract.
Guys, you heard that here first. So, Mike, we've talked about the business problem of sell-side contracts. We've talked about the importance of CRM and CLM coexisting across your enterprise landscape. But as organizations are looking at buying a CLM solution for sell-side contracts, what should they look at from a technology standpoint in those solutions?
And that often is something that people might overlook, but the reality is your contract lifecycle management application needs to have a tight integration with your CRM. And you need to have the ability in Salesforce to have a thing called a Salesforce App Exchange package where you install it and you configure it, or a Dynamics package where you get to bring it in and then you get to change it to make you as an organization. That integration is actually very, very important. But not only that, if you're going to have a single source for contracts like the CLM itself, you also need integrations into other systems in your application. So number one thing is integrations, the ability to do that integrations, and make sure your organization understands how to utilize those.
So talk to me a little bit how CPQ fits into the overall sell-side contracting process.
Many people think that a CPQ system is something that's separate from the CRM. It is not. It's completely built into the CRM. The idea is I'm in an opportunity, I can go create a quote using the CPQ. I get pricing, I get rebates, I get discounts. All of that's still in that CRM. We have the ability then to pull those products and services that you sell right into the CLM. When you create the contract request, we generate that document. So this is kind of also goes back to that tight integration that we discussed in the last question.
Contracts live all over the place. You have it in SharePoint, you have it in Box, you have it in your CRM solution, you have it in your procurement solutions. What's the value of having your contracts live in a CLM solution?
So when you have contracts in disparate systems, let's just call it that, right? You have no way to answer the question, what's expiring this month? What is my limitation of liability if my SaaS system goes down? So the value is getting them all together, extracting important information, valuable information, so that I or you can go ask questions of this information. Say, what's expiring over the next 3 months? What can I renegotiate? And oh, by the way, what's the value of that? So that we understand where we sit. Lastly, if I want to see it, it's right there. It's in a single point. I'm not looking all over the place for it.
So Mike, I know you sell into some of the largest companies on the planet and they have very complex requirements. Give me an example of what some of those selling environments look like with a customer that's actually purchased your solution recently.
We have a new customer who told us that they have over 50 different CLMs in the organization today. And the idea really is that since Sirion is a buy-side and a sell-side solution, we're going to start to evaluate how we can consolidate the other CLMs, pull that information in so they have a single source of record for their contracting within their organization.
And so roughly how many of the customers that you sell to today think about a single CLM solution for both buy-side and sell-side?
That's a great question. The reality is it's gotten to be more of a demand. In the past, it was, oh, I want sell-side or a buy-side. But I'm going to let you know nowadays, most customers we talk to want both. And at Sirion, about 50% of our customers do utilize our product for sell-side and buy-side.
Just as a general question, they're like, what's the biggest difference between a sell-side contract and a buy-side contract solution?
There's a few pieces that go to that. First one is, where does it start? Sell-side obviously is in the CRM with the salespersons. A buy-side is procurement. They're going to do something to ask to purchase something. And each one might have slightly different workflows, slightly different approvals. Oh, and they're also got different goals. Sell-side wants to get it done quick. Buy-side wants to reduce risk, save money, and really enable the organization to manage and monitor those contracts as they move past the point of purchasing the products.
Just very pragmatic question though, like why do companies purchase different CLM solutions today? That other 50% that you're talking about, why do they purchase a different solution for buy-side versus sell-side?
Well, it may be the budget in an organization. Somebody on the buy side, I'm getting a procurement solution, or the sales side, I want to get this. And what needs to happen is it needs to be an enterprise solution. They need to think and pull these together and say, I want to buy something that A, is scalable, B, has the ability to do both buy side, sell side, and C, has the ability to do those integrations that are necessary to do that important piece of information.
So if you had one piece of advice for someone that's taking on a CLM transformation across their entire company, what would it be?
I would say make it an enterprise solution. Go ahead and start talking about both sides and evaluate that application and ask, is it configurable? Can you do integrations? And if it cannot, that's not your solution.
Mike, this has been a fantastic conversation around sell-side contracting and the business problems that we're trying to solve, what you should think about from a technology standpoint, the differences between buy-side, sell-side contracting, what customers are doing with it. Let's have a little fun now. Let's do some rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you love to demo?
I love to demo the Sirion solution from A to Z, every bit of it.
Rock on. I love that answer. Feature everyone needs, but no one asks for.
Auto extraction, absolutely. Nobody knows that you need to get this information out of the contract document into the actual contract records to make it viable, to be able to ask questions for it, to do reports, to do dashboards, analytics, and nobody realizes that that's the real value in the product itself.
Okay, now these are the serious questions. Rock or country?
Country, oof, no question.
Oof.
Every day.
Okay, grits or hash browns?
Hash browns. I know
What?
I'm from the South, but grits aren't really my thing.
Man, I am surprised. Well, listen, this has been a joy talking with you, and thank you for taking the time with us
It's
today.
been a pleasure. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.